What's poppin', my people? Welcome to the first episode of Musical Scales, the podcast hosted by your mans, Fresco Bundles. Um, this is a new look into how we consume music as individuals and how we see music and see these artists who create this music for us. I feel like the way that the music industry is going today, a lot of artists don't have equal footing, you know, as far as like budget or even content or even the want of having mainstream success. You know, some artists don't feel like mainstream success is the ticket out of, you know, or the ticket to happiness for them and their art. You know, and sometimes you gotta take that into consideration. So I feel like sometimes when we compare artists to each other, you sometimes miss that. And I felt the best way to compare an artist's body of work is to compare it to itself. Compare the artist to hold the artist to a certain standard of what you like from that artist. And this podcast is going to go through many genres, many artists, and we're going to talk about the things that we can appreciate from these artists and the things that we can take from these artists to, you know, allow us to see the bigger picture, you know, to see that, you know, everybody makes good music differently. Right, and that's the main point. All right. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, so it was only right that the first 5 artists that I picked to do to add on this platform had to be from my city, and they're names that aren't necessarily the mainstream names that you always hear, you know, but they are names that I listen to a lot, and I would consider them being my top 5 most listened artists for me. I'm not saying, you know, that they're top 5 best in the whole city, because that's subjective, right? That's another thing about this. Your music opinion is subjective, and it is not that important. I'm gonna say that again. I'm looking to the camera. Your music opinion is subjective and not that important, unless you are somebody who can sway thousands of people one way or another just by saying, hey, that's hot, and hey, that's not, right? Besides that, your opinion is just your opinion. That's all it is. And I want to showcase that, you know, there are ways that you can be a fan of a certain artist, but you like different things about them, and certain songs rank higher on your scale than someone else's scale, right? So first, let's talk about how I broke the scale down, right? So every artist has their own scale, right? And it's all based off of their body of work. It's not based off of sales. It's not based off of popularity. It's just based off of my appreciation and liking of their music. And I do it from a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And think about it like this, like a 10 is 100% of the time when this song comes on my shuffle, I'm gonna play it. Or if someone asks me, what's your go-to song from this artist, that will be a 10, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you can go down from there. 9 is like 90% of the time you listen to it. 8, 80, 7, 70, and so on and so forth. And then once you get to like 5, it's kind of like, all right, it's on there. I might listen to it, but it's not necessarily what I'm looking for from this artist. You know, a 4 is like it's only in my library because it was a part of a album, right? 3, it doesn't make it to your library at all. 2, you want to turn it off whenever it comes on, and 1 is an instant skip. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show that every artist has a different scale for every one of their fans. No 2 fan scale will be alike in my opinion, right? So, um, let's start off with one of, I would say, one of the more passionate artists in the city. Um, you can definitely hear it in his music. I've been uh, I've been a fan for a little while now. I've been able to appreciate what he does. You know, I might not have a long list of songs that I love and hold dear, but the ones that I do, they are close to me. Um, but first, I want to talk about the homie Chavis Chandler. Now, Chavis is, like I said, is definitely passionate. So when I'm sitting here listening to Chavis, I'm listening for that passion, right? I'm trying to hear those bars that he got. You know what I'm saying? He's a rapper's rapper. He's a student of the game, so he cares about his bars. So I know he's gonna have some type of wittiness about him. So I'm looking for that, right? And he has music that you can feel, right? He's so passionate, the passion comes out, and it's very, very prominent in my favorite song of his, probably my favorite song of all time, and it definitely gets a 10 on my scale for him, and that's Lose Coney Island, which I think bodies everything that Chavis does. You know what I'm saying? It's a good song about where he's from. It's really Detroit based with the Coney Island theme, and it's bouncy, it's passionate, and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is a 10. Another song to me that's a 10 of his is a song called "Stay True" off of his Bridge Card Raps album. That's Lose Coney Island is also off that same album. He has a track called "Carry On, Brother," and I want to say it was off of "Call It a Wild," or it might have been, no, it wasn't "Call It a Wild." It was "Dark Skin Jermaine." Yeah, it's so soulful, right? It's something that you usually wouldn't get from a hip hop artist, but Chavis is very versatile in what he does. So that to me gets like an 8, right? I have to feel like one to feel that pain that he is singing in this song. So that's why it gets an 8 on my scale. But it's a really a great song. So if you want to check out Chavis Chandler, I would suggest, as a fan of his, I would suggest Lose Coney Island. I would suggest Stay True. I would suggest Gingerbread Man. And I'll have a complete list of some songs that I suggest. I'll put a link in the comments or whatever, so you can see all of that. But shout out to Chavis Chandler, Rebel Vomit in the building. But let's move on to the next artist on my list that I really appreciate from the city. This is a name that is well known in the city. One of the, I would say, one of the pioneers of the Detroit sound, dating back to like early 2000s, like 2000. I would say 2006, 7, 8, 9 ish. You know what I'm saying? Where the Detroit sound was just really getting cultivated. He was a part of that, and none other than Payroll Giovanni. He is, definitely somebody who I, listen to when it comes to artists out of my city. And when it comes to Payroll's music, I'm listening for motivation, inspiration. He has bars, he uses crazy wordplay. He got that Detroit shit talk that makes you, feel like you're home, even if you're miles away. It kind of just brings you right back there. And he makes that get money music. If you feeling like I need to run it up this month, throw on some Payroll while you doing what you do, what I'm saying, and you'll be able to run it up. He got that type of music for you. Some songs I think are 10s of his. I would say is Payface off the Payface album. That to me is a 10. 41P, that's also a 10 to me. Off his early tape, Talk That Shit is a 10 to me. I feel like he was definitely in his bag on that one. The Can't Stop the Rain freestyle that he just put out when everything was going on with BMF and everything. That Can't Stop the Rain freestyle is definitely, like, I wrote it as a 10.5 on my scale because I didn't think he could top a song like Payface or Hustle Music 3, which is all or 10s on my scale, but I think he did. So to me, that's like a 10.5 because now it's the new number one. It's the new top dog. And you know, Paid in Full off that tape he did with Peasy, I gave it a 10.5 because he was snapping on that bitch too. But Pay's scale isn't as long, but it has a lot of 10s for me. There's a lot of 10s when it comes to his music. I know exactly what type of music I'm looking for when I'm listening to a Payroll album. I don't have to sit here and like decide, you know, if this is it. If this fits the mold. It's like I need this type of cadence, I need this type of energy, and then this is what I want. So like I said, some 10s to check out from Payroll, Payface, Hustle Music 3, 41P, Talk That Shit, Big 2-6, Can't Stop the Rain freestyle, and Paid in Full. Shout out to Payroll. Payroll is running. And now we're gonna move on to the third person on this episode of the most unique podcast about music in the world. It is the one and only Sada Baby. Now, Sada is definitely a front runner of the Detroit renaissance that's happening right now. He is one of the ones who, when the Detroit sound was becoming more mainstream, he was one of the ones that everybody reached out to try to get that sauce, to try to get that, you know, feel. And I think he has his own way of doing Detroit music, and I think it's beautiful. Some things that I look for when I look at a Sada project, I'm looking for energy, right? I need that energy, right? Every time you get on the track, it makes you want to move, makes you want to dance, makes you want to groove. He usually has funny punchlines, funny bars, you know, some shit that you wouldn't even think about, but it makes so much sense. And his beats are usually fire. You know, usually are top tier, especially if you're looking for that Detroit sound. He has a pretty extensive scale for me. There's a lot of songs that I like of his. His scale is definitely larger than Payroll's and Chavis for me, but that's only because I'm looking for that energetic type of stuff from Sada, and he gives me more of that. You know what I'm saying? And some 10s for me from that is like On Gang, Skuba Dolph, that's a 10 to me. Skupac, that's a 10. Eastside Junpshot, I gave that a 10. Detroit Red, I gave that a 10. That new song he dropped, that Sada Wada, I gave that a 10. Ghetto Champagne is a 10 to me. You know, and I got a lot of 9s and 8s also. So like, you know, I think when Sada makes a song that I like, I either really like it and I play it all the time, or I don't like it that much, and it's just something that like I just move on from, and I just focus on what I really love. You know, he gives me a lot of it, and there's a lot of music that I'll be listening to for the rest of my life. So shout out to Big Squad and Sada and all of that. Like I said, I'll put a more extensive scale, a picture of the scale on the comments and stuff like that, so you guys can see and we can talk about that. But moving on to the next artist who I feel like is somebody that from my city that I really love listening to. Gotta be the homie, the young goat, the young cash cow, Eli Myles. He is one of the most talented people in Detroit right now. If you are trying to get established or trying to get somebody that can get you right when it comes to getting the Detroit sound, or even trying to get you right just getting a good industry sound, or just getting something that just makes good music, Eli is that guy for that. You know what I'm saying? He makes 90% of his beats. So not only can he rap, but he also can produce the sound and make the sound and do all of that. So the first thing that I'm looking for when I listen for Eli Myles track is the beat fire, right? It's the beat. If the beat fire, I'm on it, right? You got slick wordplay, you got smooth cadences. There's nothing like, nothing goes against the beats. Everything, it seems like it's a cohesive action, right? He got bars and he makes good songs. Now some 10s from Eli to me are a track called New to the City. I get out of 10. Down for You, I get out of 10. Fendi Facts, Legal Trappin', Top 5 Producers, Detroit Flower Co., Most Wanted, all of those get 10s. There's a lot of 9s also, like Block My Ex, Hoes Know I Got a Girl, I Deserve the Ball. All those are 9s, so like 90% of the time I'm going to play those songs. And Eli is, like I said, just one of the most talented guys in the city right now, and I'm excited to see what more he has in store for me as a fan. I feel like the best is yet to come when it comes to what he has going on. And I can't forget about Outkast. Outkast is definitely a 10 on the Eli Myles scale. Go check that out. But last but not least, I got to, if you know me and you know my musical journey and you know like where I started and how I got even interested in trying to hold some type of stake in the entertainment or music industry, you know that it started with my work early in my career with Shaun Carlo. I executive produced. It's the homie Shaun Carlo. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gotta shout out the homie Shaun Carlo and talk about his music and where I feel like what's a 10 for me when I listen for a Shaun Carlo record. First off, I'm listening for motivation, inspiration, bars. Like I said about Chavis earlier, Shaun is also a rapper's rapper. He is very, very much a student of the game, and he also gives a lot of thought-provoking lyrics and a lot of stuff that people don't usually touch on in rap. And I think that's a big part of why I appreciate him and I like him as an artist. Some songs that are 10s in my eyes are Ashes. This is the outro from Better Than Money. Versace Frames from Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, the actual song from Breadcrumbs. Say Your Prayers, Broken Reflections, Champion, a lot of 9s on his scale, because it's like when he gives you all of what he can, is like it usually falls in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range for me. It's like every song is at least 70% time. So at least 70% of the time I'm going to play it, and I think that's really important as an artist to be able to do that and to get to that point with it, like even if it's with one fan, but with your fan base is very important. he has the most extensive scale out of those 5 artists. That means he has the most tracks that I feel like at least 70% of the time that I will play. And if you haven't checked them out, you should definitely check them out. So like I said, these 5 artists are Chavis Chandler, Payroll Giovanni, Sada Baby, Eli Myles, and Shaun Carlo. And in closing, I want you guys to think about the way you compare people and their music. You compare these artists and their music, and maybe start thinking about why you like certain artists, or why you can appreciate certain artists, and what is the reason, or what will be the perfect song from that artist for you, and that can help you make your scale. And one thing I want you guys to do is to just try to be open and be more appreciative of the music, instead of just saying, "Oh, this is trash because I don't like it." So just some things that's going on with the podcast and what we're doing. The next episode, we actually are doing our segment called Creative Conversations. Now, this is a in-depth look into certain artists, and we give them an interview, and we pick their brain and see what they're doing, and we also help put together an EP for said artists. And the first artist that's going to be spotlighted on the Creative Conversations segment that we do will be none other than the homie Shaun Carlo. So the next episode of Musical Scales you will see will be the interview of Shaun Carlo, the Creative Conversation with Shaun Carlo. You'll meet my co-host, and we'll move on from there, and we'll continue to do this. We'll continue to talk about music. We'll continue to talk about artistry. We'll continue to talk about why you like what you like, and we'll continue to compare and all of that. So in the comments below, I want y'all to let me know which artists would you want me to do a scale of, and when you let me know of that artist, I want you to tell me a couple of reasons why you like that artist, and give me 2 songs that you think are between a 7 and 10 for that artist for you. So, if you got 2 10s that you want me to check out, do that. Tell me the artist, what you like about them, and those 2 songs, I'm going to check them out, and, I'll add them to their own scale, and eventually I'll be able to spotlight them like I did these 5 artists earlier today. But I want to say thank you to everybody that was involved making this possible. Thank you to everybody that will check this out, everybody that will comment and everything like that. I hope everybody have a beautiful night, and Fresco out.